Mr. Speaker, ISIS has beheaded yet another person. Just this morning, we also learned that the Taliban assassins murdered 9 people in Afghanistan. A few months ago, the Taliban did a most vicious act of jihad. They attacked a school and murdered 150 children and their teachers in Pakistan. And last week, we learned that one of the Taliban 5 that was unfortunately swapped by the president in exchange for deserter Bo Bergdahl has recently called his buddies in the jihadist Taliban. Now, isn't that lovely? But the Taliban are not terrorists, so saith the White House. According to the White House press secretary, and I quote, "They do carry out tactics that are akin to terrorism. They do pursue terror attacks in an effort to try to advance their agenda." Well, then why not call them terrorists? Why is the White House so timid and so intimidated by refusing to call the Taliban terrorists? National Review reports that Al Jazeera News Service has banned the terms Islamist, jihad, and terrorists from their reporting. Is the White House press secretary getting political correct language and censored statements from Al Jazeera? Who knows? Even Secretary Kerry refuses to define the foreign terrorist group ISIS as the Islamic State of Iraq and Syria. Mr. Speaker, at a House Foreign Affairs Committee hearing on September 18th entitled "The ISIS Threat: Weigh in the Obama Administration's Response," I asked Secretary Kerry this question: who are we at war with? I call them ISIS. Who would you call them? Secretary Kerry: well, I would call them the enemy of Islam, because that's what I think they are. And they certainly don't represent a state, even though they try to claim to do so. So officially, Mr. Kerry, we should refer to them as the enemy of Islam? Mr. Kerry: well, I do. Mr. Speaker, this administration also refuses to say that we are at war with radical Islam. There is so much sensitivity in the White House over its statements, one is puzzled to wonder, why are they sensitive about calling terrorists terrorists? Radical Islam is a cancer that is spreading throughout the world. Thousands are joining in jihad, which preaches hate and murder in the name of religion. Even other world leaders have publicly recognized this and called our enemy terrorists, but not the United States. The leader of the free world dances around the topic instead of telling it like it is. Why does the administration refuse to define our enemy? We are at war with radical Islam. We are at war with the Taliban. We are at war with ISIS. And we are at war with terrorists. And, Mr. Speaker, they are at war with us. Is the White House worried about hurting the feelings of radical terrorists who make it their mission to kill us by refusing to call them terrorists? We need to call them what they are: terrorists who kill in the name of radical Islam. Political correctness and political jargon will not win this war. Americans in our military must have a clearly defined enemy, not some nebulous, undefined, named enemy that the White House advocates. The threat of Islamic extremism has never been greater. Their mission is clear. They are ruthless in pursuing it and to kill anybody who doesn't agree with them, regardless of their religion. These killers are at war with America and humanity. We cannot defeat this enemy without first knowing who they are and then define them. Mr. Speaker, they are terrorists. And that's just the way it is. I yield back.